Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This episode, Bedhead Bob suggests anal charging, has a sprinkler situation, and divvies out Dickensian dilemmas. Word Wade is loving steam life, massacres a Munich event, and has a light bulb moment. Melodramatic Mark's panel problems are battery blamed, and marvels at a malicious marathon. From cancellation canards to slaughtering YouTube shorts. Yes! It's time for Best of Times, Worst of Times. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
I didn't brush my hair today. Look at that. All right. Well, I hope no one watches this video. Hello and welcome to another episode of Distractible, your uncle's favorite podcast. Only if your uncle is the cool one. The rest of your uncles, probably not cool enough. My name is Bob. What did you just say to me?
Your funkle. Your fun uncle.
Wouldn't it be cool? Cool?
Your conkle.
I said cool uncle, not fun uncle. Anyway, my name is Bob. I'm the host because I won the last episode. I'm joined as always by Mark and Wade, who will be competing in today's episode. I will give them points. One of them will win. The winner hosts the next episode. That's the format. We're back. I literally look like I just rolled out of bed and I didn't. You ever do that? You ever make it way too far into your day and then be like, man, I haven't looked at myself in a mirror or anything?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I also just ate lunch and I have no idea how my teeth look, so I should probably... Yeah.
Okay, see ya. I think you should just zoom your camera in and check on the camera.
Oh, watch this. I can zoom. I can zoom with no hands.
For those listening, all Wade did was slowly approach the camera. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I forgot how macro this is, right?
Are we doing this bit again? Anyway, yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hi.
That's pretty good.
We have great news.
It was your birthday last week, and we ignored it until the last 8 seconds of the show.
Less great, but it's all right.
What's your great news?
Yeah, Adobe is being sued by the U.S. government.
Oh, thank God.
Isn't that crazy?
Honestly, it's surprising to me that it's happening because I have no faith in anyone, including the government, doing anything good ever anymore. But given what Adobe did, no, it's not that crazy because what the fuck did they think was going to happen?
I don't know. And I think I've talked about on this podcast my experiences with trying to cancel Adobe. And then when I saw that, I went to cancel my account because I don't use Premiere anymore. I still was using Photoshop, but I'm like, okay, there's got to be an alternative. It's time to just jump. I'll learn it on the fly if I have to. And it was easy. It was a couple buttons. Wouldn't you believe it? All online.
What's the alternative to Photoshop, though? It's not GIMP, right? GIMP is free.
There is GIMP. That's free. That is an alternative. There's technically Procreate, I think, has some features that
MS Paint.
I'm not sure. MS Paint, technically, yes, you could use that. I've used it for thumbnails before, yes. But I don't know what it is. If you know of a good alternative to Photoshop, one with a lot of features, you know, that is robust like Photoshop is, it could be GIMP. But I know there's probably other paid solutions out there. I'm willing to pay for a good software if it is.
I just don't know what it is. Adobe's Photoshop is the only one I've ever heard of.
It was so funny when I was canceling because there were still all the different buttons to press, and at each one, it was like uninstalling Norton or something or an antivirus software on your computer. It was like, please, you'll die without us.
Do you want to not click this to go to the not next page uninstall? Cancel?
Very much like that. And then it was like, what if we give you 35% off of 6 months? But there was buttons now because before it was talking to someone and they did that same spiel where it was like, we'll give you 6 months at like 30% off. And then in the next page, it was like, all right, how about 60% off? And then the next page, it was like, all right, how about our best deal ever? Forever, it's 20% of what you paid. Or when you skip that one, it's like, please talk to someone. We can work this out if you just call us. It was so desperate.
Here's the puppy that will lose its home if you cancel this subscription.
I love that it's a series of pre-programmed responses, but each response is like, okay, you drive a hard bargain. Listen to this off. It's like they know everyone's going to just keep clicking no, cancel.
Yeah, so I finally canceled it, and so I lose access to all that in about a few weeks. I thought it would have been that thing where even though I had paid up until like next month, that if I canceled, it would just be like, you're canceled immediately, because I've had subscriptions like that before.
I thought that was part of why they're getting ensued was that was one of the terms they were getting sued over. Is that not part of it?
It was not just that, but they made you pay the full cancellation fee. There was a cancellation fee that was 50% of the yearly cost. Even if you were a month away from your subscription ending, they still made you pay because they would automatically sign you into a contract even that you did not sign. That was the issue. It's like there's nothing wrong with a contract with like a cancellation fee if that's in the terms. But because when you signed up for a trial, it would convert you over to the most expensive version of their account automatically and then enter you into a legally binding contract where you could not get out of it without paying a fee or some extremely restricted stuff where you had to call them and talk to someone in person so that you could get it canceled. It was a lot of hoops.
You made the joke, but like this sounds like something like Norton Antivirus would do because nobody fucking needs that. Because when you realize you have that or whatever McAfee, whatever installed, and you're like, oh, but I just use Windows Defender or whatever. I don't need this. That's why they do that. Adobe doesn't need that. I don't even know of another program that does what Photoshop or After Effects. Well, there are After Effects ones, but like I don't know anything about Photoshop or Lightroom or anything that does any of the. Adobe has like a monopoly on that shit, and they still did. Why? Why would you do this? Just everyone has to use your shit for most of what they use it for anyway, because the only other options are, I mean, there's video editing software and there are 3D effects softwares that you can use. So After Effects is not the only option. It seems insane. It seems very unhinged to me.
Are they like a stock? Is it a shareholder thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a publicly traded company.
So, yeah, I'm sure that they just keep having to ramp things up. And
at the annual meeting, they're like, listen, we made it super hard to unsubscribe. No one could even figure out how to unsubscribe if they wanted to. They're trapped and they have to pay us. So that's good for you guys.
And all the people would go, ah!
Maybe it was brought up. Maybe they're like, oh, there's a lot of people canceling. What are we going to do about that? Listen, we've got it under control. No one's getting out.
It would be fine. Here's the thing. It would all be fine if the software just kept getting better. If it was the best software that everyone's like, God, this is so expensive, but my goodness, the features. Oh, it makes life so easy. Instead, I had to open up Premiere just a few months ago for an old project on my computer with two 4090s in it, with a Threadripper 5995 WX with 128 gigs of RAM, NVMe drives. I couldn't play it back at real time speed. I hit the play button and it would go. It is just the most trash software that just keeps getting worse. And so if they would put all that money that they're charging towards their crack software team that's making the best possible thing, that would be one thing. But they didn't do that either. Right into pocket.
You got to get into their AI program where you're like, I need a viral YouTube video. And it gave me one. It was like this cat and it had like a human face and just kept saying meow. And I was like, dude, this is going to really take me off. So I went to upload it. Then YouTube's like, this already exists. I don't know. Someone beat me to the idea, I guess.
You know, you got to post stuff like that. You got to post that on Facebook. They don't check for that shit.
I'm just glad the U.S. government watches our podcast. So they learned about their Adobe subscriptions.
Now, if only we could sort out all these pesky healthcare issues and prescription nonsense. Let's get on that, government, since you pay attention to us.
Did you know our healthcare is poopy?
I believe he's distilled the entire discourse of the healthcare in America down to one word. That's incredible. You have such a way with word, Wade.
Not as complex as when people have a way with words, but it is still a very special skill.
It's difficult to boil the world down to one word.
Good small talk. Wade, what's your favorite lawsuit currently ongoing? Or anything else you want to talk about?
I was going to say, I don't know, lawsuit. I don't know, man. I stay clear of those. Though occasionally I do get something in the mail where it's like, hey, this company that you signed up with once is being sued. Do you want to be part of the class action lawsuit and get 12 cents? I was like, no, I think I'm good. I don't know what's going on. Happy there's a lot of good Steam game demos out right now. I played one. I think I was talking to you guys before the stream. There's some good demos I played.
You don't have any like shit seeping through the walls of your house or anything exciting?
Just the remnants still trying to claw its way out of the shower.
He hasn't found it, Mark.
Honestly, it's better this way. It'll steep.
I don't like that.
Mark and I secretly just caused all of your plumbing problems.
That's why you guys were like, hey, wait, I'll take that water now. And I was like, oh, okay.
So weird. You've had plumbing problems for almost a whole decade straight. Unbelievable.
And you've been really tired lately, huh?
You guys have sleepers. What's shit sleep? Schlitters. Schlitter.
Come on. You have a way with word. Come on.
Poo-poo.
I don't know how to write that down on the scoreboard, but I'm just going to tell you right now, that earned a point.
I have terrible news.
Adobe's not being sued anymore.
No, I think a fan is blacking in my computer.
Does that computer ever work for like more than 5 minutes at a time? Sometimes it's not even serious. Didn't you have a fan issue before in this exact same computer?
That was a different computer. I had to hit that one. I had to hit it to make it work.
We can look away.
No, I don't want to hit this one because there's custom water cooling in it. Like if I hit it too hard, it could just I don't have water issues, you know.
Aren't you a gambling man? It could be fixed too.
All right, admittedly, I already tried to hit it before and it didn't fix the issue. So I'm not going to hit it again.
Maybe you didn't hit it hard enough.
Wade has a point. You didn't hit hard enough. That's probably correct.
I don't have much. Just, good games are out and life's good.
You still haven't had your shoulder surgery. I bet that hurts.
Yeah, I'm also supposed to have surgery on my deviated septum. I haven't scheduled that either. I wonder if they can do it at the same time. I call both doctors. I'm like, hey, can you just fix my shoulder and my nose at the same time?
You guys come over and do it at my house at the same time, so I don't have to go anywhere. I got a big island. I'll lay on the island. Yeah, so you actually, your things are good?
Yeah. I don't really have, knock on wood, anything to complain about.
All right, Mark, complain.
All right, more complaints. So apparently my whole solar system was installed upside down or something.
So no. They put the part the sun needs to hit on the bottom. Oh no.
It's all dumb, apparently. I had a guy come over, I had a couple people come over looking at it, and they keep looking at it, and they go, and they grunt at it.
What, they turn into Hee-Hoo and they get on your roof?
Yeah, much like the beach that turns people old, this is the solar system that turns people feral. But they're able to leap from the ground floor up onto the roof in one bound. It's really impressive. It's 0 is what's getting to me.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
Dude, aren't you glad you've been up there mopping and sweeping and cleaning?
I guess you didn't clean it right. That must be the problem.
The sun's getting a lot of power from your house.
I like to give back.
That's why your energy bill is so high. The sun is up there just like, ooh, God, I've never had this before.
God, finally someone giving back. I'm just used to them all taking.
Anyway, so what's happening is, the guy who came over today explained it, is he looked at it and, once he evolved enough back into a modern man, was able to tell me that the way it's set up is the solar panels are generating power, and there's a good number of them. I miscounted. Apparently there's 48 of them instead of 44, which is great, and they're generating tons of electricity. Even in the morning it was generating like 4 to 5 something kilowatts, which is a good amount of power. That's a good amount of power. He said midday it'd probably be up to like 6, 7. The problem is they're going into the batteries that were installed when we got it, and those batteries are doing nothing. So the batteries are not, they're in backup mode, and they are not wired into anything into the house, and they're not wired into anything into the main circuit. So the solar is going into these batteries.
Are they just eternally fully charged and nothing drains them ever for any reason?
Yes.
How?
That feels like some oversight on that installation.
So the way he described it, and I might have been understanding this wrong because I'm not an electrical engineer. Those advanced super geniuses. So when the solar panels charge up the batteries, that's when they divert and go to the main circuit to feed back into the grid, right? So it's the batteries are not backing anything up. They're set up wrong. So it's not like there's just power going into it and it's going to explode, because it hasn't exploded. So once it's done charging, the solar circuit goes like, all right, back out to the grid. So then they go out to the grid and something switches and it goes grid. And then the batteries are like, we lost 0.01%. Switch back. Battery. Are you good? You good? All right. Click, clunk. Battery. All right, you good? All right, I'm gonna go to the main. Clunk. All right, okay. I want to make sure you're topped off. Click, clunk. And then overnight, when there's no solar, the batteries really sit there a lot and start to just go down, and they scream and scream. And then as soon as the sun comes up, it's like, oh, where were you? And then they start slurping power again.
What the fuck?
It's gonna be really annoying trying to sleep in the house as that's going on above you.
I don't know. I think I'm getting something wrong in how he explained it, because that seems so stupid. I don't think that's how it is, but I'm not getting any benefit from my power bill because the power company said that, and on my statements is like several months, I would get zero credit. As if they told me my solar system was generating zero power for several months.
In fact, you owe us money. Your solar powers are taking it.
I mean, it might be actually at this point, it might be costing more to run the infrastructure for the solar system than it is to actually.
So you're gonna like tube your batteries so they quit being hungry baby birds and do something, or what's the fix?
Tube them? What does tubing them mean?
You know, you shove a wire in the battery and you plug it into your computer.
You know, that doesn't sound right.
Just run an extension cable from your batteries into your house and plug in whatever you may need.
You said your batteries aren't charging anything, so make them charge something.
You're right. I can't get into them. So that's the other problem is like a lot of things, they're app based. There's no control panel on it. And I can't get into them because the previous owner did not give me the account.
There's gonna be like a reset button or something, right? Like a factory setting.
I don't know.
Who installed them? Call someone. If you installed Mark's batteries, call him.
If you pranked someone by installing a solar system and a battery backup, but then not wiring it into the house in any way so that they were just accumulating a battery that's never done anything in its life, I think you found your mark here, and I think he could really use some help.
Yeah, so apparently the only situation in which it would ever actually do something is if there is a power outage, the batteries will kick on for the circuits that it's connected to, which is 3 plugs in the garage. So I lied when I said it was connected to nothing. There are 3 plugs in the garage.
Okay, I've got a solution. Get a power strip, plug it into the garage. Plug everything into that power strip.
Yeah. And if you need more plugs, you just keep plugging power strips into power strips. You can have an infinite number of plugs.
Really, daisy chain? Is that the right word? Daisy chain them.
That's it. You got it.
I'm struggling with stuff like this because this happens with houses and all kinds of stuff. This happens where it's like you look at something and it's like, why did they do that? There's always a reason. I cannot fathom an explanation for what has happened with the battery thing in your house.
Previous owner was a serial killer, and that garage was the most important room so they could always do their work, and they made sure it always had power.
They always needed the freezer to stay on to keep the body parts frozen.
You know, what's funny is when we got this place, we were told specifically, now if you want an extra fridge, don't put it in the garage. There's not enough power. The fuse won't take it. It can't power that. I'm not joking. They literally said, if you want a big, a second fridge, don't put it in the garage.
Oddly enough, the size to hold 2 or 3 bodies, if you want that specifically.
And I can tell you, if you were looking to use a lot of deli slicers for any particular reason, those don't work in the garage either. It'd be such a great spot for slicing meat.
Yeah, so I got a consultation to get that all sorted, and hopefully that'll be.
That's wild.
Yeah, so what the guy said, and I don't believe he's fleecing me on this one, because he said we're gonna have to rip out this entire system because it just doesn't make sense. It's old and it's just not set up right. So it's like, and I actually believe him because I'm not getting any benefit. I don't see how any of it's supposed to work, and I don't have access to it because it wasn't handed off to me.
Maybe it's just not clean enough.
All right, I'll take a power washer.
If you get some modern panels and stuff in there, it sounds like you'll have a hell of a lot of production. That our house in California had 19 solar panels on the roof. That was enough production to basically power the house for the entire time the sun was over the horizon during the day. So it sounds like you have your own little infinite energy farm situation if you get the right setup.
Infinite energy farm? Yeah. Well,
I have home ownership woes.
Go on.
It's not as hilarious as Mark's is, but it is similarly baffling. One of the features of the house was that it has in-ground sprinklers, which is more common these days in a lot of places. But that's a nice feature. You don't have to go move a sprinkler around the yard, whatever. You just schedule it and it just does its thing. And it's hot here now. And I was like, well, I should turn those on, right? There's just a water valve in the basement. And you just sort of turn it on slowly, fill up the system, make sure everything's good. And I did that. And I turned it on and I listened to the water until it stopped sort of hissing. Turned it all the way on. I thought it was good. I went outside to where the control stuff is for that, like the valves and things. And there was just water coming up out of the ground, just like full blast. I was like, something about that seems wrong. And so there's just a section of like pipe missing that the water needs, that part where the water was coming out needs to connect to another pipe where the water is supposed to go in. They were both just disconnected and covered with duct tape.
Do you think there used to be a small bush there and someone maybe ran a fridge through it and broke the pipe?
We actually messaged our real estate agent who reached out to the people who sold the house to us. And because when they sold it, they specifically said like, oh yeah, and the sprinklers work totally fine. We've been using those. And we were like, hey, the sprinklers don't work. And they're like, oh no, they work. We just took this piece because we just took that piece out for like the winter. We bought this house from them in the summer. We bought it in July of last year. So no, they didn't. And they were like, oh, and they sent a picture of not the actual piece, but from the internet, a picture of a piece that looks kind of like the piece we needed. It's like a big brass thing with like some valves and stuff on it. It's some particular piece you need for in-ground sprinkler systems. And they're like, it looks kind of like this. It should be in the garage. No. It wasn't. We moved in, the garage was completely empty. And we were like, I don't think it's in the garage. Like, do you have, is in the basement or something? They're like, oh, it's in the garage. It's like on the wall, on the ledge in the garage. There's no fucking ledge in the garage that we had. It's 4 flat walls and a flat ceiling. We keep asking them more questions and they're like, oh, well, and then I called they gave us the company that supposedly like maintained the system or that they had work on it before. And I called them. I've called them 3 times and left 3 messages and they have an answering machine. They seem to exist. They're not calling me back.
It's just their phone number again. They answer a different phone. They're like, hello.
No, no one's even answered. I've only left messages. They haven't returned a call. They don't ever pick up the phone. I've called over the course of an entire day during business hours. I called at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, noon, 2 o'clock, called at 4 o'clock, left a message, called the next day, nothing. So we maybe have in-ground sprinklers and they seem to work. The thing in the garage, the box where you turn it on and off seems to work. All the sprinkler heads look fine. We just need this one mysterious piece of resistance that for some reason they took out of the thing for no, it's just fucking weird because it's like your batteries. It's like, I'm sure we could just get that piece and probably would work, but we need someone to do that. And why the fuck did that happen? They keep pretending like...
Do you think your garage ghost stole it?
God, I hope not. We're never getting it back if that's what happened.
Maybe it's in the ghost attic. I
actually have videos that I took of the attic and looked. It's not up there either in the attic over the garage. Because when they said that, they were like, it's up high on the ledge. I was like, there's no ledge. Maybe they mean the attic. No, there's Christmas decorations in the attic. Not our Christmas decorations. They forgot some Santa Claus reindeer decorations up there.
Maybe they put it in a Christmas box because, it was Christmas time when they moved.
Well, it's not a box. It's a pile laying on the floor of the attic. You could see what it is. It's lights and signs. But it's just one of those things where it's like, there's no reasonable explanation for why that happened. And I just can't understand what the fuck happened. Because clearly somebody took it apart and put a bunch of tape over both ends. It's not like it got broken or stolen.
What was it made out of?
So the pipes are both PVC. So it's like a plastic pipe coming out of the ground and a plastic pipe that goes back into the ground. But the piece in the middle is all brass. It's all metal. It's like it's a what's it called? It's like a vacuum valve. It's a specific type of piece that all in-ground sprinkler systems generally have to make it work correctly. And it just goes in between these 2 pipes. And I don't know if we could just buy one and screw it into place or what. I have no idea. But it's not the same scale as your batteries because that's way more like expensive and a huge pain in the ass potentially. But it's like, they gave us an explanation like they did something totally reasonable and none of it makes any fucking sense. And also the company won't answer my phone calls and that's a little concerning, but anyway, good small talk, everybody. Mark and I had house problems and Wade didn't. Everything is backwards. But that means we can move on to the actual episode idea for today. Mandy gave me the core of the idea, but I don't want to give her too much credit because if it sucks, it's not her fault. It's my fault if it sucks. But the idea for today, I'm going to call, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I'm going to give you guys some prompts, kind of, some direction. And one of you is going to have to find the best, whatever, that you can find me, best football game of all time, whatever, theoretically. And the other one's going to have to find the worst. I'm hoping these prompts work. It could be stuff that you know. It could also be more, we never go off topic on this show, but it could be abstract. If I tell you to give me football games, it could be anything you want.
What's the qualifier? Best and worst, like universally seen, or like on an individual scale? What lens are we approaching from?
No qualifiers whatsoever. Make your case for why it is the best or worst in whatever way you think it's the best or worst. I wanted to start with some sort of bigger stuff that would definitely have some news coverage, and then we'll work our way down. But I'm interested if you guys know any stories. I know some funny stories about this. Mark, I would like for you to give me the best Olympic sporting feats or accomplishments. Wade, I would like you to give me the worst Olympic sporting feats or events or accomplishments that you can think of or know about.
I mean, am I going first?
This is kind of a free form. I know you're gonna have to think and maybe Google and look at stuff. So if you're ready, you may go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. So I'm going to take the wind right out of Wade's sails, because the one that comes to mind is very obviously the 1904 Summer Olympics.
Damn, I was gonna use that as the worst.
I know, but I'm going to say it's the best because this is just nuts. I'm sure some people have heard about the story of the 1904 Summer Olympics, which took place in St. Louis. More specifically about the men's marathon. It was the most batshit insane marathon or event that's ever been taken place. I have to pull up the Wikipedia about it because I know Todd's going to kill me because he's about to talk about this in the next episode, but hopefully it'll undercut it.
If you want to hear all this again, I guess go listen to Go My Favorite Sport. It seems unnecessary, but if you wanted to listen to a sports podcast,
I wasn't 100% sure if it was entirely true, but I heard that it was the organizer of the race ran it as a challenge to the conventional thinking that you needed water when you were running, because the only sources of water, of which there were two, was a water tower at 6 miles into the race, which I don't know if that means that they had to turn a spigot on the water tower to get water, but there was technically a water tower 6 miles in, and then there was a well about halfway in at the 12-mile mark.
Some refreshing well water.
And they say a marathon is easier in the second half. That's what they say, right? No water from 12 miles to the finish line. And a marathon is 24-ish miles for those who know. The temperature was about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It was unpaved roads. Dust was being kicked up the entire time. And so here it is. His ostensible reason was to conduct research on, quote, purposeful dehydration. This, combined with poor officiating, saw the marathon end with the worst ratio of finishers to starters. 14 out of 32 Olympic level runners finished the race, with the winning time at 3 hours and 28 minutes, which was exactly 29 minutes. Wait, what? The slowest winning time was the third place was 3:29, which was 29 minutes slower than the second winning time. This race was fucking awesome. And I'm saying it's the best race because it's completely nuts in every possible way. And now there are extreme races, ultra marathons that are ran all the time that live off of this legacy, pushing yourself to the extreme. This is why it's great. I love it. Best ever.
You're talking about 1904, which was in St. Louis, right? Where there was like nobody competing.
Sure.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same Olympics, where it was like held in the U.S. and no one else really competed, so the U.S. won all the medals. And
because the U.S. is the best, sure.
That's what it says.
I do also want to say, I know it's a different era, but I think it's funny to keep the context of Mark was like, these are Olympic level athletes. I'm pretty sure in 1904, Olympic level athletes like, I'd better see the doctor. And the doctor's like, I recommend you smoke 2 packs a day. If you can smoke while you run, it'd be extra good for your lungs. And make sure you eat plenty of red meat.
Okay, but I don't know what your marathon time is, but 3:28 is still, under those conditions, a very good time. So there are people that could run and read and run.
Oh yeah, the read and run competition of 1904 was legendary.
The bookathon is a whole other event, Mark.
There actually is. There's a race, an ultra marathon, where it's like known to be the hardest in the world. We might have talked about it, but it's where you go in the woods and the directions are ambiguous. You have to carry a map with you, and then you have to reach landmarks that have notebooks in them that you have to write your name into to make sure that it's counted as credit, and then navigate your way back through the unknown trail to get to the finish line.
I think we talked about that. That sounds vaguely familiar. No, you're right. That is fast, Mark. Like the elite runners of today, men usually finish 2 hours, 10 minutes ish. Women usually 2:15, 2:25. But like competitive runners who run, might run in the Boston Marathon or something, 2.5, 3.5 hours is still like a good time. It was still a pretty fast. I don't think I could do that. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I think you're right.
And I'm presenting this as the best sporting event because it's pushing people to the extreme. It coincides with my character of not masochism, but wink. So from my perspective, it's good, and I have a precedence of this perspective.
You're a sports knower now, technically. Well, Mark stole your idea, I presume, Wade. There's no other bad Olympic stuff that's happened. Well, and what are you? So you're the worst of times.
Yeah, there's a lot of contenders here. 1904 was one. 1936 in Berlin, which I'm sure was held very fairly, is another contender. But a lot of people, I think, would agree 1972, the Munich Olympics, were pretty awful. There was a terrorist group that kidnapped and murdered some of the Olympic players. The U.S. basketball team, I think, seemed to win. And then I think it was against the Soviet Union. For some reason, the last few seconds of the game kept having to be replayed until the Soviet Union won. And then it was called and ended. There was a field hockey game. If I remember right, it was a really close game. I think it was like a 1-score game. And the umpiring was seen as questionable. And somehow Germany won with some really bad calls. And people started protesting. Like other players of the other team were like protesting mid-game. The whole thing was a pretty big shit show with a bunch of cheating, murder, unfair calls, bias, pretty much baked in. Almost everything bad you can think of happened during 1972 Olympics. It was bad as 1904 was, as far as, not much competition. 1936, obviously, with a lot of hostility during World War II. I don't know that they're as bad as Munich was in 72.
Was 72 a good year?
I have no idea. I wasn't alive.
Almost got him, Bob. Almost got him on that one.
Oh, another couple things about 72 I forgot to mention. Rhodesia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, was banned 4 days before the Olympics started. A panel was convened and they were voted to be banned from the Olympics 4 days before the competition started. So they were like, yeah, we're in the Olympics, let's go. And then they were like, we start in 4 days. Sorry, you're out. At the end of a men's marathon, a German imposter entered a stadium ahead of the actual winner from the US. And people were like cheering this guy winning the Olympics. And he wasn't even like in the right. Listen, it was all kinds of fucked, man. When you have to mention like murder during your Olympic games and imposters and scandals and protests and all kinds of stuff, I think it's a bad year.
No, all the unfair sporting stuff is good. I mean, I think objectively the hostage situation and killings of people probably is a whole other level. But technically, I did ask for sporting feats and or sporting events, and you gave me just a long list. I think that was pretty bad, Wade. All the cheating, all the unfairness. The basketball game, that was just a crazy fluke of the rules back in the 70s. Totally unrelated. Just keep playing the last few seconds of the game until it happened right.
That was a while ago, but like it wasn't that long ago if you really think about it.
They were still throwing into apple baskets back then, Wade. You don't even know what the game was in the 70s. You don't even know. Wade wins that one. Doesn't really mean much to win that one, but I appreciate your tactic, Mark. And honestly, you almost had me, but Wade knows about some really bad stuff. But now we're going to switch it. Mark, it is the worst of times for you. Wade is the best of times for you.
I don't know if I like the qualifier. Wade knows some really bad stuff. I just want to throw that out there.
No, it's true. It's true. I'll give that to you. You know the bad stuff, man.
You know lots of bad stuff.
That's true. That's true. All right.
I'll make sure I write that down as a point specifically. Wow, I don't know how to write. Mark, you're the worst. Wade, you're the best. Not us people. That's your task for this one. New Year's Eve moments. Could be from Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, which has been a staple of American New Year's celebration for, 40 years or something. It could be from your own personal New Year's Eve party experiences. Could be something that just happened to have happened on New Year's Eve. Mark bad, Wade good.
This one I'm going to have to do some more research because I don't even have a starting point on this to think about.
You've never experienced New Year's Eve?
Did I watch the ball drop and like that's it? Like we turn it on. It's like, okay, it's about like 5 minutes, turn it on. Hey, Happy New Year. I turn it off. Back to us hanging out. Never pay attention to any of the festivities.
You never crowded into Times Square for 14 straight hours, pissed down your own pants leg just so you could stand there and soak it in?
No.
You never used New Year's as like an opportunity for self-improvement? And
nope, never did that.
To be fair, resolutions are for suckers.
I don't know the vast history of New Year's Eve or moments that have fallen into disaster. Surely there have been musicians who in the cold, their voices have cracked and whatnot. Probably at some point there was a ball drop that was mistimed and things didn't go quite right. But I don't think many is going to top. I'm not seeing a lot of movement from our boy Ninja trying to get the world's largest, what is it even called? The Backpack Kid Shuffle?
Flossing.
Flossing. The world's largest flossing. So I don't know if much is going to top that one. I mean, I'm sure Wade's got many mass casualty events spinning in his head.
I'm the best of times this time.
But
Well, you only know bad things, so.
But yeah, I gotta go with not seeing a lot of movement.
That, I gotta be honest, that is exactly the thing I thought of when I added this to my list of ideas. I have nothing personal against Ninja. I've never met him. I don't know him. I don't care for how he presents himself and a lot of the stuff he has said and done online publicly. That was such a funny fucking moment. I'm in the same line of work as that guy, so I'm not talking like I'm better than him in any way at all. But he's at that moment, he was like on top of the world. He was huge. He was making millions. He was like the biggest thing on the internet. And as soon as you step outside of the bubble that is the internet into the real world, and he's standing up on that stage and he's like, everybody do and they're like, who the fuck is that guy? Why is a PA trying to get us to dance? I don't want to dance. Nobody knew who he was. Not a soul in that whole crowd was like, Ninja. They were all like, no.
I got a little bonus one that's fun. Back to 1904, those Olympics Mark was talking about, that was also the first year of the New York Times Square New Year's Eve celebrations. But here's one that I think has pretty big implications that I don't think people associate with New Year's Eve. And that's that on New Year's Eve, Thomas Edison revealed the light bulb for the first time.
Oh, was that bad for us?
I think I'm good, right? That's supposed to be good.
Oh, no, that's right. You're good. Sorry. Mark bad. You're good.
I really hope it's good for us.
His face just spells misery, so you would think it might be bad, but
I got 3 of them on me right now.
When I look at you, I just feel like I'm supposed to be getting bad news. Sorry. No, so yeah, that's good. That's a positive moment in human history.
You know, the light bulb's kind of a big historical moment.
I know this doesn't make sense, but I really would love to have a video of people's reactions to the electric light bulb for the very first time. Like, technologically speaking, I understand why that doesn't exist.
have you ever seen the picture of the family listening to radio for the first time?
No.
It's not the first time anyone has.
No, it's just like their first time hearing radio.
Here, I'm sharing my screen. So if you're listening, it's a family of 3. I believe this is a Soviet family. Well, it says a Soviet family listening to radio broadcast for the first time.
God, Jesus, what happened? It looks like they're being tortured.
I wish this was higher resolution because of the mother's face is just like this kind of haunted, drifting expression of like, good God, what's happening?
This looks like the scene out of a horror movie, like they're being wired up and electrocuted.
I totally buy that we all assume the reaction is everyone would just be like, whoa! Having never heard or seen any technology like this before, it's just as possible that these guys heard the radio broadcast and were like, ghosts! The demons! Or what? Yeah, God knows what.
I wonder what they were listening to, because in my head they're listening to like Taylor Swift or something. I was like, well, that's probably not what they're listening to in 1928.
Put these in your ears. What? Why? Hi, it's me, the problem. It's me. Hi. Whatever the fuck that song is. Taylor Swift music plays.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, they're not even like jamming. But I was like, wait, they're probably not listening to music. They're probably listening to just like somebody like, test. Hello? Can you hear me?
It's like weird 90s like American Soviet Union humor. There's a guy who's just like, in Soviet Russia, cars drive you. They're like, what the
So I forget why you brought that up, but that's what that made me think of.
I was saying I would love to see a video. Exactly that kind of reaction is, I'm sure that there were some people who saw the light bulb and immediately were like, oh.
Someone took them to a pitch black room and they were like, I'm going to show you this light bulb. And they're like, I can't see anything. Oh, fuck my eyes.
But yeah, I mean, some of the reaction to the light bulb must have just been like, oh, he's a witch. Or, whatever. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I mean, they'd seen fire. Let's be perfectly honest. They've seen a candle before, so they get the understanding.
But this was tamed. This was tamed fire. It was contained in a glass tube. It didn't have any flames. It was pure. It was completely controlled.
I'm sure that there were many, fundamentalist kind of like people about that. But for the most part, from my understanding, is in most cities and stuff, people were always forward thinking and like, I can't wait to see where technology comes. When the train screen like was invented, people were just like, oh, what's next? You know, there were a lot of people that were excited, just like we are today about technological advances. It's kind of the same. There are some people that are like, 5G's giving me COVID. You know, there's plenty of those people, but still to this day. But a majority of people are excited about technological advancements.
Wait, people said that in the 1800s? 5G's giving me COVID.
I mean, yeah.
Soothsayers.
I mean, probably there was some of this saying, they said cameras stole your soul. That's the equivalent, right?
Dude, I got a lot of Horcruxes out there then.
Yeah, well, because we have a lot of pictures taken of us. Yes, I see.
But yeah, Thomas Edison, that's a big one. Roman Empire collapsed on New Year's Eve. I don't know if you see that as a pro or con, but you know, that's an interesting one too.
Is that true? New Year's Eve? Did they know when it collapsed? Because I thought there was always a mystery of why it collapsed.
So apparently, according to a paper in the Yale Historical Review, there was 10 years peace before the New Year's Eve of either AD 405 or 406 when a confederation of, troops crossed the Rhine River, entered Rome and Gaul. Having already lost Britain and Spain, Roman military was still reeling from 2 hard-fought civil wars, meant the well-armed group of 80,000 people crossing the Rhine River encountered no resistance and was the end of the Western Roman Empire.
Huh.
I'm sticking with the light bulb one's the one I was going with, but that's just a fun fact. That's interesting to me.
Weren't you the best of times on this one, Wayne?
That's why I said I don't know if you see Roman Empire as good or bad, but I think the light bulb's good. And the light bulb's the one I'm considering. This was a list of like positive events over years.
That's just an extra thing that happened on New Year's.
Yeah, I just found it interesting.
I respect it.
We're kind of doing a podcast, so my points are resting on Thomas Edison, but I'm throwing other shit out there.
Stay focused. That was a tough one because I already ahead of time kind of had one in mind that I thought I would like more than the others. I'm going to call that one as a tie. You both got multiple points for that one.
No.
Since Mark's disgruntled, I'll give Mark another point.
I like when complaining earns you points.
You must. It's your main strategy. Although it's not really fair to say that anymore because you haven't done that in a minute.
Give me a reason.
Mark, it was the best of times. Wade, it was the worst of times. Zoos.
What word did you just say?
Zoo. The zoo where they keep the
like
animals.
I was like, Zeus?
Tell me about zoos.
Well, Mark's thinking, man, I'm the worst at times.
And there is a wrong answer to this one, but yes.
Harambe.
Wrong.
Why, what?
I'm just kidding.
Good because of the memes?
Kinda. I mean,
dude, some idiot kid was like jumping around like, look at me, I can get in this pen. And the gorilla was all like, I got you, fam. And people were like, he touched the kid, fucking kill it. And he was like, dude, I'm just chilling in my pen. And poor Harambe.
To be fair to all the zookeepers, have you ever seen those videos where it's like it's a video from the perspective of a patron at the zoo who's just like looking into the gorilla exhibit, and the gorillas are just fucking beating the shit out of each other like it's scary to watch. They're just like going at it. There's someone challenged the alpha or whatever. I don't know how the dynamic, but and the people are like, do something, and the zookeepers are just standing there like, what the fuck am I gonna do? You see what's going on in there? They'll sort this out. That's the life of the gorilla keeper. So
I get it. I get why it happened. It still just sucks. And it's Cincinnati, which adds to it. There was also a rhino. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Like 10 years ago, there was a rhino that got killed by poachers in the zoo.
Bold.
Karma.
I feel like that's gotta be a tough place to get the trophy out of.
Oh, I just said karma because I thought you said the rhino killed the poacher in the zoo.
No. Poachers came in there and killed a rhino in the zoo for its
karma.
Fucking dumbass rhino.
Near Paris. It was near Paris. Apparently it was in 2017.
Last of an endangered species, fucking refusing to mate ass rhino. That's just karma right there.
All right, I'm gonna cut Wade off before he can get too many points from all of his things.
Wait, I got more.
No. All right, it's ready for the best of times.
You say Harambe, I swear to God.
I want to defend the Cincinnati Zoo.
I knew it.
Because for those who don't know, Harambe was shot in the Cincinnati Zoo. But the Cincinnati Zoo is one of the best zoos in the world. Here's the thing. Cincinnati Zoo has been known as a very reputable zoo that has an active program for breeding animals to save species starting as early as 1880. They were the first to hatch a trumpeter swan in a zoo, as well as 4 passenger pigeons. It was also in 1882, the first American bison was born in captivity. If you know about Fiona the hippo, you'll know that it's notably difficult to breed hippos in captivity. Cincinnati Zoo does it regularly. Fiona is very.
They already have a new baby after Fiona. Fiona's no longer the baby. Now it's Felix or something.
I thought you were defending Harambe. You're just defending the Cincinnati Zoo. Cincinnati Zoo is great.
Yeah, because Harambe was killed in the Cincinnati Zoo, and most people were like, "Oh man, it must have been there was a lot of jokes saying like whatever zoo it was must have been run down, but it's not. The Cincinnati Zoo, even today, has one of the most successful breeding programs in the world. They've earned the nicknames, according to NBC News and USA Today, as the world's sexiest zoo. Which I don't know about that.
You don't get horny when you walk around the Cincinnati Zoo?
It's embarrassing because I have a constant hard-on when I walk around the zoo. It's really awful.
Well, now it's explainable.
I see a sign that says reptile house that way, and I'm like, oh.
Here's the other crazy thing about the Cincinnati Zoo. It just expands beyond the animal care itself. Cincinnati Zoo has the largest publicly accessible urban solar array in the country.
What does publicly accessible mean?
Means that it ties into the public power grid.
Oh,
so not only, and this was in 2011 that they were known as the largest array. They had an expansion since then. So in 2011, they had 6,400 solar panels that were producing 20% of the zoo's energy needs, and then on sunny, cool days, it sent it back to the utility company. They have done an expansion since then that has not only kept their ranking. I'm trying to get information on exactly what it is, but they broke ground on the largest publicly accessible urban solar array for an expansion to increase it by about almost double the size. It was originally a 1.56 megawatt solar array. It's going to be a 2.8 megawatt solar array when it's completed next year.
Yeah, well, do you remember they put that in when we were in college, which we went to school, like the zoo is across the street from UC, basically. It's right there. It's all the covered parking lot that they have. That's all where the solar array is, I believe.
Which is such a smart thing.
It's, one, it covers and shades the vehicles. Two, it prevents the asphalt of the parking lot itself from just becoming a heat sponge. A common problem in cities is that like cement and asphalt absorbs heat and it just becomes like a radiative source of heat. Why cities are so hot? When it's hot in a city, even when the air temperature's not that hot, it's because all the shit around you absorbs the heat. All the buildings, all the streets covering parking lots not only converts that sun into electricity, but it prevents the heat soak from being as much of an issue. It's a whole thing. What a great zoo.
It's a great zoo. It's a fantastic zoo. And even though the incident with Harambe occurred there are still many, many notable achievements and great accomplishments that have occurred in the Cincinnati Zoo.
I mean, bad things happen at every zoo. That one's just famous. Ever hear of Greater Wynwood Exotic Animal Park?
He doesn't get more. Why does he get more?
I'm cutting Mark off before he keeps listing good things about Cincinnati Zoo.
Go ahead, Wade.
What? No!
It was run by someone known as, I don't know, the Tiger King. Ever hear of Joe Exotic and his wonderful animal park?
I've got another good thing. The Tiger King, providing entertainment when COVID was happening, the lockdown. It unified the nation. His sacrifice and those tiger sacrifices.
Unless you were one of the tigers that got shot and buried in the dirt.
And there were probably more than one. Their sacrifices kept America together.
Their sacrifice. Yeah, they nobly volunteered themselves.
I respect that, Mark. You get an America point, but I'm afraid Wade does get points for Tiger King. I think it's hard to argue anything very good happened in the Tiger King situation.
Yeah, that park is permanently closed. That's how good it was.
And fucking Carol Baskins.
Oh, sorry. It's going to be 4.55 megawatts by 2024, which is this year. Yeah, they're doing crazy expansions. I love the Cincinnati Zoo.
It is a heck of a zoo. It's worse. This is a weird thing to say, but we're spoiled for zoos in Ohio. The Columbus Zoo, which I grew up going to, the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Jack Hanna, our boy up in Columbus, one of the coolest zoos in the nation, I would say. Probably world renowned for some of the stuff that Jack Hanna did, outreach, and the aquarium in particular is very good, like high top caliber. The Cincinnati Zoo is even better. And I didn't admit this for a long time. Mandy, being from Cincinnati, was always like, oh, the Cincinnati Zoo is way better. And I was like, it can't be. I grew up going to the best zoo in the world. I guess there's nothing else in Ohio. So people are like, well, build some habitats or something. Somebody can live here.
Let me throw this out there, which might help Mark. But Molly and I go to the Cincinnati Zoo every year for Festival of Lights too. And around Christmas time, they do like the Great Light exhibit.
Columbus does that too. They're both of the Christmas light displays in Columbus and Cincinnati are ridiculous.
There is nothing like having a hot chocolate walking around looking at like the lights and some of the animals and stuff in like the winter.
They even make the hot chocolate the shitty way where it's just powder and water. It's still good. Let's do one more round. It's a tight race. Lots of points. Mark, it was the worst of times. Wade, it was the best of times. YouTube moments. We all have YouTube channels. We're all sort of, to some extent, have been and still are tapped into like the YouTube community. None of us is as obsessed as some people are about stuff that goes on. But there are a lot of internet moments. I'll open it up too. It doesn't have to be YouTube. Like internet moments, right? Like things that stand out. It could be from other platforms or whatever.
You ever hear of Markiplier? Because what I'm going to mention is Numa Numa.
All right, make the connection. I can't wait for this backflip. All right, stick the landing.
Dude, so good.
Looking like that guy as much as I do in high school when that was really popular was not my favorite thing. I'm going to be honest. But I did know the whole song back then.
Do you look like him? I mean, are you saying because of like...
I look like him. I'm a fat guy. I don't know. I'm a fat guy with glasses. We all look the same to everybody. People will look at me and be like, you look like Peter Parker. You look like, who's that other fat guy? You look like Drew Carey.
I would say like, I could see Drew Carey with the glasses because you guys have a similar glasses. Like
he doesn't wear these glasses anymore. And also I don't wear these glasses usually. I'm not saying I don't look like these people, but anyone who's like a fat guy, everyone is just like, you look just like John Goodman.
I suppose, but like I learned about YouTube when that was popular. And like, I thought that's what YouTube was. I thought it was like those silly moments that like South Park parodied.
Didn't that actually predate YouTube?
That wasn't even on YouTube first.
YouTube came out in 2005.
06 or 07 when it started to get really popular.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a thing people went to until like late 06 or 07.
No, that was E-Bomb's World Era.
Yeah, E-Bomb's World and like just emailing each other shit back in the day.
Because I thought South Park was all like YouTube it was parodying back with that stuff. It was so long ago.
It's like original indie like internet video culture, which, you know, a lot of it did come before. Like Star Wars Kid was, again, before YouTube.
Classic.
Chocolate Rain,
I believe, was early YouTube, but I might be wrong about that. That actually...
No, I think he posted that on YouTube. Yeah, he still has a YouTube channel, actually.
Yeah, 2007 was Chocolate Rain. Then there's more beyond that. But the vast majority of that is early 2000s, from like 2003 to 2006. Is like you got your Albino Black Sheep, your E-Bombs World, your random ass internet sites that had video on them.
So stuff like the Hamster Dance website with the weird animation, or stuff like the badger, mushroom.
That and you're the man now, dog.
Drunk Minecraft.
Oh, You're the Man Now, dog is still online. What the hell?
Really?
YTMND.com. Holy shit, it's still here.
Is there new stuff? Top view today with 268 views. Honk. I hope it's a ripoff of Meow and it's just a bunch of geese with human mouths just going honk.
I just clicked on the up and coming one, is dusty old bones full of green dust. And I'm like, man.
God. Okay, the original Hamster Dance is also one of the top things on today on You're the Man Now, Dog with 184 views. You're the Man Now, Dog is still one of the top things as well with 168 views.
Which is great. It's great.
The classics.
I remember how cool I felt when I had a Facebook account like junior year of high school, because it was like only supposed to be the college kids, but I like found a way to make the account. It was like, dude, I'm on Facebook. Because it was like limited to college kids for a while.
Yeah, I did also. I got onto Facebook because a friend who had graduated and went to college like got me an invite or whatever. And it was like
I had to like fake a college whenever I was making my account. I was like, yeah, dude, I graduated from Duke.
That was back when it was called the Facebook, until Justin Timberlake told the Zuck to get rid of the.
God, that is so loud.
Did you click on one of the things on You're the Man Now? It's so fucking loud.
That's the one good thing people don't know about your YouTube is they have volume normalization. So that's why the audio experience is consistent from video to video.
I remember when we were freshmen, 2007, living in the dorm together, so many late nights where I like had my headphones on my laptop or something, and I was just clicking through like Dig or something. I was clicking through websites, and something would come up like that, like a flash animation that would just be like 2 a.m, and I'm just like,
dude, yeah.
God fucking Jesus.
I still tell the story about whenever I was having trouble sleeping and I was trying different things to help me sleep. And I found like one of those like hypnotizing videos on YouTube and I was watching, it was like a 10-minute video or whatever. And I was like, okay, this is kind of, and then it turned into like the Exorcist face screamer, like at the end.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very calm, quiet music for about 8 minutes and just like the fucking lost my shit.
All right, that was Wade's best of times. Mark, it's the worst of times.
Obviously, there's like Adpocalypse. That's bad. There's the attempted Google Plus incorporation with YouTube, I feel like was just a completely devastating moment for YouTube because it made account management a nightmare. It made everyone who had a YouTube account had to sign up for a Google Plus account. And then you had this suddenly new social media that had no support and died almost immediately.
It was really awful.
There was it was the bait and switch because all the Stadia features were going to come to YouTube so that people could actually like interact with your game if you're playing as you're streaming on YouTube. There was going to be a lot of features that were going to be incorporated into it. Never happened. And it's now replaced. If you've noticed on YouTube, you can scroll through and there's like, play this game instantly. Why would I want to do this? Why would I do this? And you can play games right there on the browser. But I'm going to say probably one of the worst that I think for YouTube is the still right now push for shorts. I don't mind short form content on YouTube. I just think that the whole mentality of pushing shorts as like a new medium in YouTube itself it's detrimental in a few ways because it doesn't make any sense to me. From a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me. From a user experience standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me. As an option, people can and already did upload short form content on YouTube. The thing about it is, though, is it is much harder to monetize. It is exceptionally harder to monetize for YouTube. I'm not talking about the creators. I'm looking at this purely from a business standpoint. If I'm like YouTube, it's harder to monetize and it takes attention away from your more monetizable content. So if I'm YouTube, what happens when more of your hardware and bandwidth and costs and expenditures go towards this thing you're trying to develop for it? You are an inferior product to TikTok. You are simply doing it because it is popular on TikTok, but TikTok does not have a long form. Technically, you can upload longer videos, much in the way that YouTube you can upload shorter videos, but there's a preference for it. So you want to specialize for your preference. And also YouTube as a company, you're at an advantage because longer videos can be monetized way more easily with your already robust advertisement system, right? So you're ham-fisting this feature in there and you want people to use it for what reason exactly? It's taking away money from you. It's creating shorter and shorter user experiences. And also it's kind of detrimental to the actual main product that you have. And it makes it just a complicated experience for everyone involved.
I don't have the data to back this up, but I imagine their goal is just to get people off of TikTok and back on their platform. And maybe people that watch short form content are only going to watch short form content anyway, so at least they're on YouTube instead of TikTok, and maybe people that are going to watch long form are going to stick to long form.
But it doesn't benefit them. If it doesn't make money, which short form doesn't, that's a problem TikTok and every other platform is facing. Reels don't make money. TikTok doesn't make money. Shorts don't make money.
Maybe they're hoping it'll translate so people that make shorts, if like you like that person's shorts, they'll go and watch their other video. I don't know. I can't tell you what the data backs up, but like my thought process is it's better on our platform than someone else's.
And that's the thought process they have. But at the same time, again, it's to the detriment of the main product. They're always going to be an inferior product. Shorts are always going to be an inferior product to TikTok unless TikTok does something completely upside down, which companies have done that before, where they're just like, they lose their mind and lose the plot. That's currently what YouTube is doing. And so it leaves an opportunity for their main product. This is the Adobe situation where it's like you have your main product. If you don't back that up and constantly try to pivot to new features, you lose the plot and you create an opportunity for your entire thing to be shut down. And I still think, and people know this, people on TikTok know this, everyone knows this. I still believe that YouTube, in terms of their video, is the best way for you to get your creativity out there and potentially make a living off of it if that's your goal. I don't believe that should be everybody's goal, because the robust system with which it is monetizable and the robust protections and features that enable you to make whatever you want to make. There are more hoops that you have to jump through to get into there, and obviously you have to find success, but there aren't as many roadblocks. And I think that is actually something that is nice, because with TikTok and the creator fund on TikTok, people found out, oh, that runs out. And when it runs out, we all get less, and they get to decide how much less. I see the disadvantage here.
as a general strategy thing, I would equate this to being like, if we live in a world where Tubi survived, which if you don't know what Tubi was, it was like a shorter form, but still like television type thing. But it was like, you can watch it in vertical or horizontal.
Oh, Tubi's still around. Quibi.
Oh no, Quibi. Sorry, Tubi. Sorry to be offensive to you, Tubi. No, Quibi. That's right. And it would be equivalent to like if Netflix saw Quibi and was like, oh, we should have stuff in that format. And Netflix tried to like implement that. Obviously, Quibi didn't succeed. We're ignoring that fact. But if it was a good format, or the way that TikTok in short form is a totally legitimate format and like get why people like it, there's no reason for Netflix or in the real world, YouTube to dip into that. Like you said, it's always going to be worse. And the other thing is it doesn't convert. The analytics consistently show people do not come to YouTube, watch shorts, and then be like, oh, I'm going to watch this 40-minute video. People are either looking to watch 5 seconds of something at a time, or they're looking to watch a video that's like 10, 20, 40, an hour long, whatever. They're like, you don't just magically convert people who want TikTok into wanting long form content. And nothing that YouTube is doing is like, oh, well, this will bring people. It maybe keeps them off TikTok, but it doesn't help YouTube. It's a waste of resources. They could do much cooler stuff if they just made YouTube better at what it does.
Other cool moments or other bad moments, I don't know if they're good or bad. Is planking good or bad? That was a thing. ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was a good one. Rick rolling could be seen as good or bad, but that was a fun time.
Still going.
Well, remember the dress? That wasn't really YouTube, but like the dress, was it red and gold or is it black and blue?
I think he's just listing random internet things now.
He said internet. Bob qualified it internet.
I did open it up to any internet things.
Any internet things?
I just want to throw them out there, not even for points, but just for the sake of discussion. I think those are fun things to remember.
I'm going to give Mark points for anything you say from here on out.
Okay, cool. Let me throw out also then Gangnam Style and What Did the Fox Say?
Ooh, What Did the Fox... Have you guys seen the other songs that Elvis, the guys who did What Did the Fox Say made?
No.
You should look up Stonehenge. What's the meaning of Stonehenge? It's a whole music video. It's a similar type of comedy song. Very worth it. Very funny. One of my favorites. Mark, points for Stonehenge.
Thank you.
Good and bad. Good, bad.
Good and bad. Thank you.
Both of you. Good. Even though bad. Shall we do the points then?
Only if I won.
I'll just go ahead and read the points. Mark, you got points for Adobe sued, shareholders happy, Upside Down Solar, Ferro Solar Tech, Scam Battery Backup, 1904 Olympics, Not Seeing Any Movement, Disgruntled, Harambe But Better is what I wrote down. America, Adpocalypse, Google plus YouTube plus Stadia equals bad, YouTube Shorts, What the Fuck, and also What Meaning Stonehenge, for a total of 14 points, Mark. Wade, you got points for inventing the video meow, having way with word, sleepy poopy, trusting him, unfair Olympics, Wade knows bad things, Tommy Ed Bulb. Oh, Thomas Edison light bulb. Got it.
Oh.
Tommy Ed Bulb.
Tommy Ed Bulb.
Good old Tommy Ed Bulb.
Roman Empire with a sad face next to it. Harambe, just normal Harambe. Tiger King, Numa Guy, You're the Man Now Dog, E-Bombs World, Ice Plank Roll, which I think is Ice Bucket Challenge Planking, and Rick Roll, all in one line in 3 words for whatever reason, which gives you a total, even though that was a lot of words I just read, of only 13 points somehow.
Man, I really feel like these points were sparse on this end.
I will say some of these clearly did not get points written down for them, and I couldn't tell you why. I wrote the word and decided that was adequate scorekeeping, and it's all here on this piece of paper.
This feels like the time that I should throw a challenge flag, but like also at the end I was like, yeah, I'll just throw stuff out. You can give points to Mark, so I guess I can't really fight it. So
anyway, congratulations, Mark.
Thank you. It's about time.
It's about time. Wait, were we trying not to let Mark win or something? Did I forget?
No. It's just I haven't won in a bit, so I'm trying to.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long since you won. I gotta be honest.
Been so long.
Well, you deserve this, Mark. Winner speech?
Yes, I would like to say, everyone please subscribe to my YouTube channel. New videos every day.
A new 3 Scary Games came out.
Yeah, it did. That's all. That's it. I win.
All right, Wade, loser speech?
should have won, should have fought and complained more. But honestly, I'm just still thinking about the Olympics. I don't know why.
The good Olympics or the bad Olympics?
Check out the Cincinnati Zoo. People are always asking like, hey, we're coming to Cincinnati. Anything we should do? Yeah, check out the Cincinnati Zoo. It's actually pretty cool. It's one I never think to mention, but I should. Subscribe to Markiplier's YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
He needs help. We're trying to help him grow.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching on Spotify or listening anywhere else. Make sure you subscribe to Markiplier on YouTube. We have merch. Distractables. Oh, fuck. I always make fun of you for this. Distractablestore.com. That's the one.
We're trying to get .gov, but like not yet.
Approval's tricky on that one.
I really wanted it to be a .edu, but there's rules.
Come to Distractible College. Well, we'll teach you. Do you think instead of a movie theater, we could get a college?
Yeah. Oh, actually, someone said that there was a school up for sale.
Oh, I saw that. No, in like Dayton or something. There's a school that's going out of business. I don't know if I want Dayton.
We'll call it the Education Center for Distractible Lads and Lasses.
Lassies?
Lassies.
Podcast out.